Hi, kindergarten friends. The other day I was reading a story and I noticed something. I noticed in my story there were speech bubbles, just like Miss Z was telling us about the other day in Writer's Workshop. But I also noticed in the story that there was writing in the sentences in the story that talked about people saying things. So I know Miss Z said you can bring your story to life and unfreeze your pictures by adding speech bubbles. But let's look at how you can use language in your sentences that tells you who's saying what and how they're saying it. In this story, The Invisible Boy, there's a little boy who actually feels invisible. His friends aren't very nice to him. People ignore him, or people actually say mean things to him, and he feels invisible, like nobody sees him, or sometimes he doesn't want to be seen. So I'm going to read a few pages to you. The next day, when Justin got to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian. Look what he has here. He has a speech bubble. Yum. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. Look at the speech bubbles. You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Now, those are speech bubbles, but look here. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. So on this page, they use speech bubbles to tell you the dialogue, what's happening and what's being said between the characters. But on this page, the author just writes it in the sentence. I want you to notice what's here and what's here. These are called quotation marks, and they go around what's being said. So here, it starts here and it ends here, and it says, sorry, I gotta go. And then you have to write who says it. Says Justin. Let me find another one. Okay. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in the photograph. She has a speech bubble. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool! See the quotation marks? That tells me somebody's saying that. Who says it? Says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in a house like that? Quotation marks are around what he says. Here's some more quotation marks. I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story. The quotation mark ends, says Justin, and Brian smiles and he takes out his lucky pen. I'm going to use Miss Z's story from yesterday. She's got great pictures and she's already started her story. What could we add to make it even better? Let's read it first. Kaya and I went on a walk down by the creek. Kaya saw a frog. She was curious and excited. Kaya says, ruff, ruff. She jumped at the frog, and Miss Z said, Kaya, no! She splashed water all over me. All right, so thinking about what we can do to make this story even better. If you have more than one character in your story, you can add dialogue to show what the characters are saying. When we're writing what characters say, we use quotation marks around their words. Look at this. Kaya and I went for a walk down by the creek. Here, Miss Z is going to say, "Good girl, Kaya." Okay, she's going to have an exclamation mark because she's saying, "Good girl, Kaya." So we're going to put quotation marks. There are two little marks here, like that, and two here. And we always put quotation marks around the words that the character is saying. Now we need to say who says it. So who said it? Miss Z said it. But this is her story, so we can't say, "Good girl, Kaya," said Miss Z. We need to say, "Good girl, Kaya," I said. So we have what she said, "Good girl, Kaya," and who said it? I, meaning Miss Z. Let's look at page 2. Kaya saw a frog. She was curious and excited. Now on this page, Kaya says something. Okay? So we could say, rough, rough. We already know what she says from her speech bubble. We have to put quotation marks around it because that's what she says. Rough, rough. Now, we know that Kaya can't talk, so we could say said Kaya, but we could use something else, and we could say, because you say things in different ways. She could whisper it, she could yell it, you could scream something, you could giggle while you're saying it, or laugh while you're saying it. So rough, rough barked Kaya. So listen to the sentence now. Kaya saw a frog. She was curious and excited. Rough, rough, barked Kaya. Okay. Page 3 to this amazing story that we're writing. On this page, Kaya jumps at the frog and Miss Z yells, "Kaya, no." So let's write it in our sentence. Kaya, no. We have to put quotation marks around it. Now, do I want to say, "Kaya, no," I said. "Kaya, no," I whispered. Am I going to whisper something like that? No, I'm probably going to say, "Kaya, no," I yelled. I'm going to put an exclamation mark there. "Kaya, no," I yelled. She jumped at the frog. "Kaya, no," I yelled. Great job, friends. Last page. She splashed water all over me. I'm going to add something here to make it even better. I'm going to have Miss Z saying, "Stop, Kaya, you silly dog." So stop, Kaya, you silly dog. That's what Miss Z says. Let's think about how she might say it. If you were getting splashed by a dog who just jumped to try to get a frog, you might be surprised. You might find it funny. So I'm going to say in this picture, Miss Z looks surprised, but after the surprise wears off, I think she thinks it's kind of funny. So I'm going to say, "Stop, Kaya, you silly dog." Laughed, or I laughed. Okay, so let's go back and read our story all together and see if we've made it better by adding words to our sentence to show what the characters are saying. Kaya and I went for a walk down by the creek. "Good girl, Kaya," I said. Kaya saw a frog. She was curious and excited. Ruff, ruff, barked Kaya. She jumped at the frog. Kaya, no, I yelled. She splashed water all over me. Kaya, stop, you silly dog, I laughed. Nice job helping me with my story today. We added some details to our story by adding words to show what the characters are saying to each other. Now, you can do that by adding speech bubbles, or you could do it the way I showed you by using quotation marks around what somebody says and saying who said it. So when you're writing today, try to use dialogue in your sentence to show what your characters are saying to each other. You can do this by writing it in your sentence, like I showed you, with quotation marks, or by using speech bubbles like Miss C showed you yesterday. Have fun with it. Bye.